Hello Libra, and welcome to your December reading. We made it to the end of the year, and I always love this time of year when it comes to readings because it gives us a chance to kind of wrap up all the loose ends and take a little bit of a look into what's coming in for 2019. A quick note regarding that, I will be doing a live feed in January, and I'm also going to be doing some adjustments to the way these readings are scheduled, or structured I should say, so that we can focus on the new energy for the new year. So I can't wait to share that with you soon. Also, for those of you that are new, a reminder that you can always use these monthly readings for your sun sign, your rising, as well as your moon. And I'd like to thank everybody that's been coming through all year long, supporting with likes, subscribes, and donations. If you'd like to become a part of that group that helps make these videos possible, you can join me on Patreon. I'll put some information at the bottom here, and I'll also talk about it at the end of the video. In addition to Patreon, you can also donate through my website. All of that goes directly back into allowing me to make time for the videos and buy supplies, etc. Let's now jump into your channeled message for the month. Every month, before I hit the record button, I select a deck of cards, meditate on it, and see what comes through. The first thing that I got for you was a visual. I saw a sky, which I associated with clarity of thought or clarity of mind. And then I saw clouds rushing in. I wrote down the following information in automatic writing. I said, don't let others' thoughts clutter your own. Get back to your own basic belief in yourself, your own voice, and allow that to be a sort of clarifying agent. And I think sometimes as a sign, Libra is fantastic at putting itself in other people's shoes, empathizing, sympathizing, understanding, being the diplomat. But this particular month, what's important is for you to get back to what you believe is right for yourself, particularly when it comes to things that matter to you. Maybe this is a passion project. Maybe this is a relationship or a goal or an aspiration in your life. Any big decision, this month I want you to really feel it out internally and make a decision, be a little bit more decisive, and allow your wants, needs, and input to be a part of that decision-making process. I know that's a bit of a push and a stretch for some Libras, but it's going to really help you get something finished faster and in a way that makes you happier than you would otherwise. So clear the clutter. Maybe don't solicit as much input this month. Just allow for your own intuition to be the compass. Let's go ahead now and give the cards a nice shuffle and see what kind of information is coming through for your sign this month. At this point, I like to remain quiet just to observe the messages like you and see what wants to come through. In addition to all of the cards in front of me, I pull what I call a catalyst card that helps kind of set some organization to all of the messages here that we see in front of us. It's a connective thread. It's a way to optimize the opportunity for the month. All right, so this is a really interesting message for you. It isn't just a literal card. When I see go outside, to me, it's sort of the world card intersecting with the hermit. Earlier in the channeled information, I was saying don't let others' thoughts or energy cloud your own, but I don't want that to be a limiting force for you to expand your presence, and that's what this is saying. Be bold, allow yourself to be seen, and in doing this, you're going to share your gifts with the world, of course, but for some of you, this could open up opportunities especially in business and in relationships as well. So, you will be better served this month by finding your voice, being a little bit more assertive, and not being afraid to be out and amongst people. And so if you have to go to the office party or a holiday get-together or a professional gathering, you're going to already know that it's important to have some boundaries, have a point of view, but then just have some fun interacting, because that's something that this sign does fantastically well, I should say. So embrace that ability to be a social butterfly, but this month, remember that you don't have to take in all of the input, all of the drama, all of the energy from others. It's important that see yourself kind of like that butterfly, going from place to place, person to person, spreading your energy a little bit, your insight, your ability to make a difference in the world. And instead of taking on the weight, you're actually you're shining a little bit this month. So I think it's really important for networking, I have to say. So don't be afraid to go out, just have some boundaries and give yourself some time to recuperate after events like that. All right, your center card is the Sister of Fire. And in this deck, sisters are pages. And so Page of Fire in reverse, Page of Wands in reverse is about, again, that introspective energy we saw earlier. This is saying don't overthink things this month and don't get sort of set in your ways or stubborn about a procedure or a way of doing something. One other thing that I was picking up on when I was meditating is that things need to feel a little bit easier than they have for you. So if there's something in your life where you feel like you're constantly pushing or forcing it to happen, I want you to take a step back and just think, what if I changed my approach? What if I did it differently? It could be a routine of, something that you do at work or in your life, and just try a different way, a different method, ask someone else how they get it done, and see if trying a different approach doesn't completely shift your energy towards getting something done. Because I feel like there's a little block here between knowing what you need to do and being able to do it. You're too much in your head, so finding a way to kind of let that go is going to be key. That card is crossed by the 10 of Swords, but what's interesting in this deck is this is not such a scary illustration of it. It says the Way of the Cross. And when I look at this, I'm actually seeing of like you coming back to a place of believing in yourself. And sometimes 10 of Swords can come through when we feel like nothing's working or nothing's worthwhile or we've reached a dead end. This is saying everything that you've done has brought you to a place for a reason. Don't lose sight of that bigger path. And again, this illustration yields a different interpretation of the 10 of Swords here. So this is about finding your way back to believing in yourself, going back to my channeled information, finding your voice, trying something in a different way so that the energy flows better. I feel like it's time to stop something. 10s are ends and beginnings. 10 of Swords is like a full stop or a period. So I feel like you have finished something and it may not be working anymore, but have faith in yourself and try a different method. And I think you're going to find a much better approach towards something in your life. Looking at your deep past, we have the 8 of Pentacles in reverse. I actually love the subtext on this one. It says the mountain. And for some of you, I feel like you might have stumbled a little bit in the past or had a setback where you felt like you just can't get something finished. You can't get over that hump, that hill, and get to the other side. And the message that I got in my head was try again. That this month it will be different, that you're more prepared for the challenge, that you'll realize how far you've come. Now, 8 of Pentacles is great for artists. If there's anything creative that you've tried to do and it wasn't received, give it another shot. But do it from your perspective. Don't compromise your vision, your voice, or your perspective. This time it's going to be a little bit better, a little bit easier, and get you closer to the end goal. If it's something more practical, going back to school, finishing something from an investment or financial perspective, this is showing me you're also over the worst part. The mountain's in reverse. This is like going downhill. You just have to finish. So I want you to finish something that you didn't finish before and believe now that you're ready, that it's going to be easy. I mentioned in another sign that thoughts are sort of self-fulfilling. And if you can believe that it's already within reach, it's going to feel easier and it's going to be within reach. So dust yourself off, give it a second chance. Change the approach a little bit this time, because if we combine all 3 things that I've seen, the Sister of Fire in reverse, which is opening your mind, the 10 of Swords, but a very different approach to the 10 of Swords, which is returning to faith, and then the Mountain card here, the 8 of Earth, or the 8 of Pentacles, this is saying your burden is less, your approach is new, and you're going to have faith in yourself. So I really like that combined message. Now, as we look at how you're feeling coming right up at the beginning of the month here, we have the 2 of Water, the 2 of Cups, and this card is interesting. It shows a sacred cord or a connection. It's reversed this month, which is showing to me a little bit of a pull from someone in your life that you love a lot. Now, with it being Two of Cups, this would be an intimate relationship, whether it's a lover or a sibling or a best friend. It's someone with whom you share an intimate knowledge of one another. And I want you to sort of check the balance of that relationship. If you're needing more, just be cognizant of that and try to give back a little bit. If they're asking for a lot, remind them of your needs as well. Don't expect them to intuit it, because especially for someone that might be in a place where they're hurting or they're needing, their empathy may not be what it normally is. So be there for one another, and also be there to kind of check and balance the relationship. Your crowning card is the Six of Wands, and this is a really good card. Normally you would see a group of people in this card showing that what you're doing is being really well received. This one is more about you enjoying that. You'll notice the word glory at the bottom, and the tree here showing foundation and the support. So I want you to take a chance this month, or not a chance, I would say take an opportunity to be happy about how well you've done over the course of this year, how well you're doing in getting stuff done, and feel good about whatever this thing is that you're going to pick up and give a second shot to. Know that this time around, it's going to be all the sweeter because of the work, the energy, and the effort that you've put into getting where you are. This is sort of where you have the happy tears, is kind of what I'm getting with the Six of Wands this time. So if you follow through on whatever it is you're trying to make come to fruition, it's going to be successful and you'll be happy. And again, this could be a relationship, a life goal, a project, self-improvement, whatever it is that you're trying to get to the next step. I see you getting to the finish line, and you'll be so happy that you didn't give up. All right, we have the universe here, the world. This is a card of outreach. This is this card kind of amplified. So both of these sort of a similar sort of illustration, which is expansion, exposure, publishing, distribution, traveling. This is about not staying internal, not being the hermit. And for many of you, this is a success card. I love the world, and in many ways it's better than even the Wheel of Fortune, because this shows a complete end of a cycle. So I think that many of you are close to seeing something to its completion, of accomplishing a life goal or a dream. For some of you, this could be a relationship too, because we have the Two of Cups there in the recent past, and then I see right there in the near future the universe. So you could be finally either getting together with someone that you love and you've been trying to make that happen, or if you're ready for independence, and I said finding your voice could be part of this, it could be stepping away from that, but knowing that you learned something from it. This is a beautiful end to a long journey, and now we're going to be looking at what's next. So as I tune into your ego this month, we have the Three of Earth, Three of Pentacles, and great works come from this card. That's why you see works here. And this is even a little bit of a nod to the Thoth deck, I think. So with this card, I want you to realize, particularly for those of you that are in communications, the power of the written and spoken word is going to be paramount. I want you to spend as much time as you can perfecting that and trusting yourself. And know that a combination of, we get all the cards that are key for success in communication. Eight of Pentacles, the universe, and the Three of Pentacles as well. This really does come across more as your power in written word this month. So whether it's your text communications, your emails for those of you that are writers, or for those of you that write speeches for other people, or just your ability to put words into motion this month and have other people react to them. There's great power in that. So don't underestimate it. Don't misuse it either. And I believe that if you put energy into written words, and even if it's a sort of a journal and trying to manifest things, that's also going to be important. You could write down your goals and aspirations. Again, forget about the 31st or the 1st. Start doing it every day this month, and use I am and put what you want to accomplish, and feel that every day you're getting closer to that goal. All right, as we look at your environment, we have the Ace of Pentacles, or of Earth, in this deck, and it's reversed. The interesting word here is you'll see that it's form in this particular deck. So for some of you, it's almost like you're not certain 100% of whatever this is that you want to finish or create or whatever's next, I feel like there's a seed that's not yet been fully realized. So take some time this month to meditate, to figure out what the next big thing in your life is. You'll be focusing on getting out there, mingling, sharing something, finishing something. But if you look at any successful businesswoman, businessman, musician, whatever, they're always thinking of the next thing. So much of this month is going to be split between manifesting and planning. And when you kind of get stuck on manifesting, I want you to start to, or finishing, I should say, completion, I want you to start to plan the next thing. Dream a little bit. And part of this is going to involve you needing to do things that make you happy, that make you feel like you're in a place of creativity and playfulness. Now, as we look at opportunity, I have to say this is a great end reading for your sign. We have the Star card. She's reversed, however, and with the Star reversed, this is speaking to not holding back, fully showing people who you are. So we have go outside in your catalyst. We have the universe in the near future. Now we have Star and opportunity, which is saying in its reverse state, you're more than enough. You have something great to share with the world. You're deserving of whatever comes your way, but you have to believe it. Something's disconnected in your mind and in your heart where you have to believe in yourself and believe in your voice. Once you do that, I have to say, it looks like 2019 is a really positive year so far from what I can tell from this spread, because you're putting into action all of the great seeds that will show growth, prosperity, and change. And now your big sort of challenge this month as we look at the end here is the Two of Earth, the Two of Pentacles. It's a balancing and a harmony card. I really like the way it looks here because it shows that I was talking about, working on finishing and working on planning. And then we have here cause and effect. If you kind of focus on those two things, you will be affecting great change. You'll also be planting the seeds for new things in the new year. And you have to just make good choices this month. And this is showing for some of you, resources could be a little bit tight. You may be running out of time. You may be running out of money. You may be running out of energy. Because the Star is right underneath this, as I'm looking at these two. And right underneath that is this card of the Ace of Pentacles showing something that needs to take form. My encouragement and my message to you is to find the extra resources, which means possibly, and I rarely say this, to burn the candle a little bit more than you normally would. So this means that it might be necessary for you to, put in some overtime at work, or work a little bit later into the night to get stuff done, or to make some sacrifices on how you're spending this month. Not spend as much, save a little bit more, make your penny go a little bit further. That's basically it. Somehow you're gonna have to stretch your resources to get things done, but in doing so, what you're essentially doing is setting up a sort of spring effect. You're pushing a little bit harder to get there, and then you're gonna feel this momentum that is going to happen in the new year. So well worth the time and energy, something I think you're only gonna have to push a little bit for 2 to 3 weeks, and the net effect of this is well worth anything you invest. Let's go ahead now and take a look at your health card, expanding the forecast to see what's going on in your mind, body, and spirit. The message for health this month is looking at crystals, and there are two things that come through with this. First is a message of clarity and detoxification. So I would say when it comes to your diet and to your living style, to be as clean as possible. It's a common thread that I've seen throughout signs this month. So this is a chance to make changes here. As that card was in reverse, so it is saying try to clean things up, try to be as pure as possible when it comes to what you're putting into your body, and that's going to have obviously a very good result in the end. This is also about the power of healing crystals. And I know that I'm overdue to do a video on that. I will try to get that out next year. But what you could try to do this month is work with some of the crystals that you might have in meditating. And as I said before, it doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to start with a big crystal. You could just use a small quartz crystal and focus on meditation and see how that feels as you are working through your body. So the power literally of crystals, but also of being clear and clean, just like that crystal in your life when it comes to diet, habits and living. All right, let's go ahead and take a look now at wealth, seeing what kind of opportunities are coming through for career and money this month. Your wealth message is rejuvenating rain. What's cool about this card is that it's showing that if there's anything that you're not happy with, maybe it was, a debt that you finally paid off, or you really aren't satisfied with where you're at as far as your savings, or just wish that things could be a little bit better. What it's saying is let that go, understand how and why you were in that situation, and focus now on the prosperity of present and future. Particularly as we look in your environment card here in the Ace of Earth, Ace of Pentacles, where it says form. I want you to put some energy into creating something new, particularly as we see the Three of Pentacles, the Eight of Pentacles. There's a lot of creative energy that is sort of begging to be harnessed this month. So whatever was, let's start to create something new and better. And in doing so, there's some great opportunity, not just this month, but in the following year. The other thing is, when I'm looking at this, there is something healing that happens when you let out any sort of emotions that you have over the past. So if you've been bottling up some sadness, some frustration, some anger, work with someone this month, maybe a professional, to kind of help alleviate that so that you can get to a better place. I feel like some of you may have just let things go and not really dealt with everything when it comes to something with money, something with self-worth, something with achievement. Whatever that sort of lingering thing is, if you can heal it this month, then you're going to open up the door to prosperity and also allowing yourself to shine and sort of step into the limelight, which is something that wants to happen, it looks like, in 2019. So heal those personal wounds in your life when it comes to finance, self-worth, accomplishment, and once you do that, you'll be okay. I think sometimes with spirituality, there's this desire to just skip over the bad stuff, like hit fast forward. But when we go through the shadow, when we understand it, when we feel it, and then come through it, that's when the breakthrough happens. But you do have to acknowledge whatever it is before the healing can take place. So we looked at health, we looked at wealth. Let's look at love and relationships and see what the message is in that area of your life. So in love and relationships, we have increase your awareness. It says deep connection, trust your inner voice. That really harkens back to the original message. It was reversed, which is just showing that you need to listen to yourself a little bit more than perhaps you have. And particularly since this is in love, if people in your life are trying to convince you that you're not seeing something from the right point of view, or are making you feel less than, or somehow kind of getting in the way of what you know is right, this is saying, no, you actually do know the right path. You know what you need to adjust. You know what you need to embrace this month. So follow your heart, follow your third eye, follow your insight, and know that that's going to be the compass in what's right, what's wrong, what you need to do. Don't be afraid to speak up. Use your voice. Let's look now at your destiny card. Destiny, of course, is where you're headed, but you have the ability to shift it and change it. That's why we have these readings every month. Second chakra, Archangel Ariel. So with your second chakra, that's your sexual chakra where you hold creativity. It also is how you connect with people that you love, particularly intimate relationships. There might be some healing that needs to happen in that area for you, but I will say, if we're just looking at this from the highest point, this is creation. And what I saw here with the Ace of Pentacles, the Three of Pentacles, the world, the universe, all these cards that are coming through for you, if you harness your creative energy this month, beautiful things can come of it. And there may be more of a drive for you to put more of the energy into work. But guess what? Some of you may have a little bit of both, love and work, competing this month, because it's about abundance and it's about choices. And this is where I don't think you have to make a choice. You're just going to have to do a good job balancing and do your best to maybe give it your all at both. So a little bit of a stretch month when it comes to how much energy and time you have, but a lot of opportunities in front of you, and including relationships, which isn't something that I always see for this sign. So I would say try to do as much as you can and try to push a little bit extra this month, knowing that next year should be a little bit easier because of the energy that you put into basically growing these opportunities. Let's go ahead now and review everything we talked about, and then we'll wrap up this reading. As I said at the beginning, I had this image of clouds coming into the sky and sort of clouding up your thoughts or your images. And I want you to have a nice bright blue sky. So get back to what you believe, what you feel, what you understand, and don't let other people convince you otherwise if you truly know from a heart space what matters. You had some very interesting cards at the center, but let me talk first about your catalyst. This month it was to go outside, but I said that's really going outside of your comfort zone, getting out there in the world, and then we got the universe, which is the world in this particular deck. Now, as we review all of the cards and their meanings here at the center, your first message was to not get stuck in a particular way of doing something. In fact, for many of you, it's time to let that go. Get back to something that you've almost finished but maybe given up on, or find your passion this month if you don't have something that has sort of been sitting on the sideline, and work on something that truly brings you a sense of fulfillment. And this does feel like it's an artistic endeavor for many of you. It might be writing, painting, or some big project in your life. We have the Two of Cups here, and showing that for some of you that there might be a big shift in relationships, either deciding to get together or to come apart. But either way, this is something that's been a long time coming, and it feels like it's a positive shift for you. Knowing that whatever you decide to do this time around, the work and the struggle that you've done is going to make it all the more worthwhile when the success does happen. And it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. And that's really what I want you to kind of get behind this month, is that you can do it and it will be a success, and you'll be happy because you pushed through it and you kind of proved the people wrong. You went against the odds and won. A reminder again that the power of the written word is going to be something that you want to harness this month. Give yourself time to create. We have a form card here that has not had a chance to sort of develop. It's more of a zygote. So let something take shape, take form this month, and don't hold back. If there's a wild and crazy idea that you want to embrace, go after it. If you want to express a part of yourself and hopefully have people support you, what's important is that you believe yourself and that you show up without any sort of feelings of doubt, of withholding. There's a chance for you to shine, but you have to believe that you can do it. And finally, there is going to be a little bit of a resource crunch for many of you, whether it's time, energy, or money. You're going to have to do your best to balance it. Some of you are going to have competing opportunities, perhaps a new relationship and a new job or a new project. And this month will be a little bit tricky in figuring out how to make that work. In the expanded forecast, we look at health. It's about detoxification when we see this crystal card. For wealth, a chance to recover, to do something better this time, and to, if you need to, mourn whatever it was that you let go of, but know that it's going to, again, be all the sweeter when you finish it this time around. Looking at love, it's about tuning within and knowing that your own ability to see through things or see past things isn't something that you should second guess. And in relationships, don't let the other person cloud that natural intuition that you have. Finally, it's important for you to harness the power of creation this month. As I said, for many of you, the second chakra may have competing sort of energies this month, where relationships are going to take a center stage, as well as work and creative endeavors. So I see a lot of activity happening within chakra number 2. Take some time to balance everything out this month and know that even though it may feel a little bit overwhelming, this isn't going to go on forever, this resource crunch that I see. And I just want you to not let something pass you by, because it feels like there's some great things coming through for this month. So that brings your December reading to a close. But if there's ever something going on in your life where you need some help, some advice, or some insight, know that I'm here to assist, and that if you want to schedule a one-on-one with me, you can take a look at the links below the video. The first will help you check out rates and availability, and if it makes sense, I'm here for you. I also have some gift certificates and gift cards on my website right now, since it's the holiday season. So if you want to gift a reading to someone else, that's a way that you can do that. If you would like to just say thank you and support the channel, you can do that through a few different methods. One is to join me on Patreon, as I said earlier. You can also do a one-time donation through my website. You might be noticing I use the new deck this month. I use the donations that you guys provide to make purchases like that possible. Also, all of the equipment and the lighting that I have here, that's also a result of the donations that you provide. So if you like what you see and you want to support the channel and the growth and development of the channel, you can do so through that second link. If you just want to say thanks and support me in a sort of non-committal way, a great way to do that is through subscribing to this channel, which is really imperative to the growth. So if you like what you see here, subscribe. You can opt into notifications so you know when videos come through. You can also join me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and my newsletter. And that third link will give you a destination where you can explore all of the above. So I like to end every video, and I think this is the most important part, with just saying thank you and extending gratitude for the work that you're continuing to do on yourselves. It's not to be underestimated how important it is to just understand what's available each month energetically, how we can be better and more resplendent human beings. And in doing so, we provide more light and more brightness for this planet when it really needs it. We need a lot of love, a lot of light, a lot of heart space thinking, and hopefully that's what we're all starting to do by tuning in each month. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for joining this sort of global community of light workers that I hope that we're all creating. And I can't wait to see you guys again in January. Again, I'm going to do some changes in the format, also have a live feed, and hopefully get back to my intuitive development series. So a lot of good things to come in the new year. Thank you so much for your support over 2018. I can't wait to see where 2019 takes us. Much love and light. See you soon.